Ooh, ooh. Heidi ho, friends. Taffy here. Today, I'm going to tell you a true ghost story that I lived. When I was 17, my family moved into this old, it was over 100-year-old farm. And the neighbors kept telling us, oh, it's haunted, it's haunted. There were Satan worshipers that lived there, and weird things happen all the time. There was this huge barn out behind the house, and my brothers and I are thinking, yeah, we have a big barn to play in, have parties in and whatnot. As soon as we moved in, weird things started happening. We would hear noises, we would hear footsteps going up and down the stairs at night, and nobody'd be there. Doors opening and closing. Well, the barn was the worst. We were so excited about the barn, but yet walking out to the barn, you would just very slowly start feeling dread and, the chills and the hair standing up on the back of your neck. There was, in the very center of the barn, this small, dark room. And the only thing in this room was a big wooden table built into the room. And we had animals. I had a pony. We had goats, cows, chickens, you name it. We had it. The animals, it was a constant fight to get the animals into the barn. They did not want to go in the barn, period. But anyway, you walk into the barn, and straight in front of you, probably about 8 or 9 feet, was the room that was in the very center of the barn. We would see, it looked like red glowing eyes. You constantly felt like you were being watched. And the closer you get to that room, it was like you could feel somebody breathing down your neck. It was creepy. Creepy. We've seen shadows moving throughout the barn. Weird noises coming from that room. And my dad swore that he saw like a demonic creature in that room. None of us ever went into the barn alone or after dark alone. I mean, we had to go in after dark from time to time, in the winter time when it would get dark early. We were doing our chores, but none of us ever went alone because it was so scary in that barn. We have had some of our animals die mysteriously for no reason. I mean, it was spooky. Even in the house, we had weird things happening in the house, but it was mostly in the barn. The neighbors had also warned us not to go. We had these woods way back behind the barn. And they said, don't ever go back there, especially after dark. The woods are haunted. Yeah, that was scary. And we lived there several years. You could definitely feel several different presents, around you in the house and in the barn. We lived in this little town called Staten. We moved in with my aunt and uncle. My aunt was dying of cancer, so we moved in to take care of her. And my mom had given her, it got to where she was so weak she couldn't yell for help if she needed help. So my mom got her a bell, to ring if, she needed help. The way the house was set up is you walk through the front door, there's the living room. And just off to the right from the living room was my aunt's bedroom. You walk through the living room, then you're in the dining room. And just off the dining room on the right was my bedroom. And you go through my bedroom, and there's the stairs that go up to the attic. That was creepy. My brothers, that's where their rooms were at, was it up in the attic. After my aunt passed away, we would hear, the bell disappeared. When she died, the bell was gone. We could not find it anywhere. The middle of the night, you would hear that bell ringing, and we would search and could never find the bell, or, where the noise was coming from. One night, we all got woke up, I want to say maybe 2:30 in the morning. It sounded like somebody rolled a bowling ball down the attic stairs. My mom immediately thought one of my brothers had fallen down the stairs. Nothing there. Nothing at all. And, it's just weird shit like that happen daily, nightly. And you kind of get used to it. There was nothing ever violent happening. But, you kind of get used to it. You never forget it, ever. I mean, I've had nightmares about it, but once I became an adult, moved out on my own, then I started collecting creepy dolls. Creepy dolls. And my boyfriend and I were hitting these antique stores and, vintage malls. And he would go his way, I'd go my way. And down in this one area, in a basket on the floor, there was a bunch of doll clothes, and I saw this little face sticking up out of the doll clothes. And I pulled it out, and it was a creepy old doll. I took her, I went and found my boyfriend, excuse me, and I told him, I said, I want this doll. And at first, he's like, really? Why? That doll's creepy, And I kept following him around the antique mall with this doll. So we agreed to get her. So we go out to the car, and I lay her down in the back seat. And so then we go to another store, and my boyfriend's like, well, wait a minute. So he gets in the back of the car, sets the doll up like she's a child, and buckles her in the seatbelt. This doll, I swear, is haunted. Her face changes. I kid you not. I'll try and get the pictures so you guys can see her different facial expressions. But when we first got her, when I laid her in the back seat, the expressions on her face, she looked like she was scared. But after my boyfriend sat her up and buckled her in the seatbelt, I kid you not, this doll smiles. Her cheeks get rosy, and when I was carrying her all over the store, you couldn't see her teeth, but when she smiled after my boyfriend buckled her in the seatbelt, she was smiling, you could see her teeth. It's funny because we had a party, I think it was my boyfriend's birthday party. My friends, we were talking about our haunted house, because the house we lived in was also haunted. We were telling everybody that, yeah, this doll, her facial expressions change. She's haunted. Nobody wanted to hold her. I'm just like, here, no, get that thing away. I finally convinced one of my friends, Melissa, to hold the doll. And I said, seriously, watch her face. Talk to her, rub her face, treat her like she's a small child, and you will see her expressions change. Hesitantly, very hesitantly, she takes the doll and she's holding her like a baby. And I'm like, now talk to her, stroke her face. So she's like, we need, her name is Lulu. The doll's name is Lulu. I have a friend that does readings on haunted dolls, and she claims that this doll was a 4-year-old little girl who, she drowned? Yeah, she was the one that supposedly drowned, and that her name was Lulu. So we called her Lulu after that. So Melissa's looking at the doll, rubbing her face, saying, "Hi, Lulu. How are you, Lulu?" You know, just like you would a child. And seriously, the doll's eyes shifted, and she started smiling, and her cheeks got puffy, like she was this pudgy little girl just smiling for all she's worth. And Melissa about flipped. She's like, take her, take her, take her. We have done EVPs on, we have several haunted dolls. And I can't remember the ones that Lulu had said, but we have EVPs from the dolls. My boyfriend asked, "Do you like dogs or cats or both?" And you could hear a child say both, just clearly. We've heard giggling. It's one of our favorite things to do, is talk to our dolls and, you know, do EVP sessions and kind of freak people out with these creepy dolls. But I have some other ghost stories, paranormal stories, that I'll tell you at another time. The one about our house and how we found out who the ghosts were, their names, and how they died and whatnot. And that's an interesting story too, because our first night there, and usually ghosts don't scare me, but our first night in that house, whatever was in there was making me scared. Like, really, I didn't want to be there. Scared. So, but I'll tell you guys all about that one another time. Remember, I have that Name the Zombie Head contest from my last video. So far, I've only got one name in the comments. Check it out. See if you come up with an awesome name for my zombie head. We gave the deadline of July 1st, but in reality, I would like to have a name for him before the 26th, when we go to the Walker Stalker Con, because I am taking him with me, and I'd like for him to have a name. So, Taffy's word of the day. Can you guess what it is? Bet you can't. Haha. Because usually it's moist. I'm going to change it up. So, Taffy's word of the day is crusty.